Let me go read some 32 thoughts because I think me and Alex are about to. Who is it? Is it Shaquille O'Neal who's like, or is it Charles Barkley? I'm here to open a dialogue. Alex,
Daniel,
you and I are
I'm
going
not
to
sure.
open a dialogue.
Sure, go ahead. Let's open this dialogue.
Open thought 23. No, that is Josh Hossein. We meant that as a thought for later. Hold on a minute. I have messed up. I need to find the exact. Oh, goodness gracious. Hold on. I mislabeled my notes. Hold on. Give me a minute.
It's number
Give
2.
me a minute. It's number 2. What, Adam? What are you doing?
It's thought number 2.
Thought number 2. The last time Ben Chiarot was a free agent, Toronto was very interested. It couldn't work at the time, but it's something to remember. Calgary, Florida, and St. Louis are among the other parties looking for him.
So
Alex Kellerman, I have a question for you. Alex Kellerman.
Yes. What is the question?
Do you want the Toronto Maple Leafs to win a playoff round?
I do.
Do you want them to win 2 playoff rounds?
I'd like them to win 4.
You want them to win a Stanley Cup?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Ben Chiarot helps the Toronto Maple Leafs get that much closer to winning not 1, 2, 3, but 4 playoff rounds?
I think it brings them closer. I don't think it brings them a first round pick closer to winning the Stanley Cup.
Well, no, I have a follow up for that.
Okay.
By the way, if the Leafs were to get Ben Chiarot for a first and some change, would Ben Chiarot be the defenseman of either a Barclay Goodrow or a Blake Coleman type acquisition? Because we always talked about they weren't really worth it. I think
it's David Savard is the example you're looking for more there. Because that's you're thinking the comparison you're making is what people are saying about a Trio Lehkonen. Okay. I think it's better a guy who ideally for a contender, third pairing, nastiness.
Can I ask you a question about that though? Isn't it a shame that Ben Chiarot is going to go fetch more than Artturi Lehkonen? Because in my eyes, that seems like insanity to me.
When Frank Cervelli's like people are begging Montreal, that screams to me, really, how much do you want him? But we're not talking about Artturi Lehkonen right now.
No, we're not.
Or Vitaly Kravtsov.
I just wanted to bring that up.
We'll talk about Lehkonen a little later. Alex Anemian, you want the Toronto Maple Leafs to win a Stanley Cup.
Correct.
They need to add toughness. A guy who ideally a bottom pairing, if he has to step in the lineup, you want a Zach Bogosian type, don't you? You want a bastard to play against. You want a bastard to play against, don't you?
Yeah.
I can promise you after watching him play 4 playoff rounds and nearly 3 years in the Montreal Canadiens uniform, that Benjamin Chiarot, and I know what you're saying. You're thinking, Adam, not worth a first round pick. Alex, is your happiness as a fan? Is your love for your team? And they need to add toughness because right now, Liljegren and Sandin is your third pairing, is not going to beat the Florida Panthers, who are, by the way, just killing everyone they play. It's hilarious. They're not beating the Tampa Bay Lightning. Luke Shen has something to say about Rasmus Ristolainen. No, I say Ristolainen. Timothy Liljegren. Is a first round pick really worth another meme of a summer? Hearing Steve Dangle cry about Mitch Marner for another half a year? Is a first round pick really that big of a deal?
I will. Let me answer your question. If you put Ben Chiarot on the third pairing of this team, I don't think that does. I don't think that pushes them closer to beating the Florida Panthers or the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Do you think when the Tampa Bay Lightning added David Savard to their third pairing, did that help them?
Yeah, because look at the defense they already had. And David Savard last year's David Savard is better than Ben Chiarot. I don't even know if that's like a debate.
I'd like to know where that David Savard is this year for the Habs.
I would also I would also like to know, but in last year's David Savard is not this year's David Savard.
Who's better, Timothy Liljegren or Ben Chiarot?
Like right now?
Right now, yes, Ben Chiarot. But what I'm saying is, I don't think by adding Ben Chiarot to this team, let's say you replace Timothy Liljegren with Ben Chiarot, So the third pairing is Ben Chiarot, Rasmus Sandin. Someone's playing on their wrong side. That's still not beating the Tampa Bay Lightning or Florida Panthers.
Who's better, Justin Hall or Ben Chiarot?
Ben Chiarot. Justin Hall has been atrocious this year.
This is what I say is Ben Chiarot is someone that is going to stir the pot. And I think if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs and you need to win the playoff round and you need to make a significant move, we know they don't need another forward unless, well, I think they need another centerman, but that's just me. But if they're adding another defenseman, if you are a contender, first round picks don't mean a damn thing. And I thought
the Leafs aren't contenders. I've been told for like the last 24 months, the Leafs aren't contenders. When did we throw them in that?
Let's be honest. They are. Like, it's just, if they're in another division, it's a much different story. But like, anyway, like, let's just be honest here. They may not be at the level of the Panthers and the Tampa. That's a fact. They aren't. They're not Colorado or that, but no. I think adding Ben Chiarot and that level of compete, a guy who's been to the Cup final, a guy that you look in the face and you say, you beat us last year, we didn't like it. He'll bet that ire. Imagine this. You are down 2-0 going into the third period of a hockey game. Mm-hmm. Game 7. Tampa Bay Lightning first round. You make it 2-1. It was Austin Matthews. I don't know. Ben Chiarot wasn't on the ice. Okay. There's 2 minutes left in the game. And Ben Chiarot takes a hooking penalty, as he always does. And Tampa Bay get the insurance. Mind. Do you not care about this show and the content?
No, if the Maple Leafs win the Cup, I promise, if either of our teams win the Cup, there will be more content on this show than ever before. I almost guarantee it. The two biggest teams in Canada.
Ben Chiarot.
I will, if it's for again, I'm not opposed to putting Ben Chiarot on this team. I've never been opposed to putting Ben Chiarot on this team. But the suggestion that Ben Chiarot for a first round pick pushes the Leafs past Tampa Bay or Florida is not true. I don't think that is true at all. I really don't. Like, it's just, I can't see how adding Ben Chiarot to the third pairing pushes this team, the team that I watch 82 times in a regular season, or whatever amount of games they played last year. It's not going to push that team to the next round. What happened last year? Okay, what?
Here's what it does. Jake Muzzin will get hurt again because he always does. Because Correct. Father Time, history repeats itself. And you have a guy who can fill into that role with Ben Chiarot instead of having to put one of their younger defensemen up there. That's what he provides. That's the value. It's not just you're adding into the third pair, but you're adding a guy that can fit up and down the lineup, and we had seen in the playoffs, can play in the top pairing role. He can kill penalties. He is the type of defenseman that thrives in the playoffs. If you want someone cross-checked in front of the net and getting away with it because it's the playoffs, then Ben Chiarot is the one for you.
Adam.
Who's going to clear Alex Killorn and Sam Bennett out the front of that? It's going to be Ben Chiarot.
If you're telling me the Leafs have to trade for a first round pick, they have to trade a first round pick for Ben Chiarot, who would be playing in the 5th defensive spot. And if Jake Muzzin gets injured, he's the guy to go up in third. That is insane. The only reason that the Tampa Bay Lightning traded David Savard last year was because they could. If Tampa Bay did not trade for David Savard last year, I'm of the belief they still would have won the Cup. That's how good that is how good that team was last year. I don't think last year there was the first, second, and third line. In recent memory, I don't think I've seen something as strong. They did that because they could. They traded for David Savard because they knew they were going to make it that far into the playoffs. The Leafs, I have no assurances that if you add Ben Chiarot, that they still get past the first round.
So what would you do with the first, Alex?
Well, something
like a different package or like a different player?
How about this?
Different player.
Never enough penalty killers. You want someone who can score big, who can score big goals in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Somebody who has scored to eliminate the Penguins in the play-in round. Someone who scored the goal that sent his team to the Stanley Cup final. You want Cherry Lehkonen. And I will give him to you for a first-round pick.
again, like I don't know. Like I just again, like I know what this team needs, and it is very specific. It is someone who can play in the top four, who is rough, who is not named Ben Chiarot. They have to be of a certain skill level to play in the top four. Justin Hull is not a top four defenseman. Justin Hull is not a top four defenseman. I repeat that. Justin Hull is not top four defenseman.
This is what I'm hearing. I hear top four capable. I hear bastard to play against. And then the mention, I wonder, this is what I wonder about, honestly. I wonder if I hadn't complained about Ben Chiarot nonstop for the last 2 years. Excuse me. And, complained about every flaw in this game. If your opinion would be different, but I've just done nothing but expose how much of a sham he is.
You've proved
Winnipeg Ben
my
Chiarot
thoughts.
was like, hey, no, legit, I think he would fit, but it's like, I just, for a second, I think you do it. Who cares about a second rounder if you're the Leafs? A first, maybe it's a stretch. I wouldn't do it, but it's just for some reason this guy's value is a first.
The Leafs traded a first and a 2/4 for Nick Foligno last year.
Yeah, it was
and that did not work out. I am and no offense to Ben Chiarot, I do not want to see that happen. I do not want to see that happen again. If they trade for Ben Chiarot, I very much believe that would not push them much farther along in winning a playoff round for this team.